Well, good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is Gavin Pickin. I'm a software developer for Auto Solutions. I spend most of my days doing CodeWars JavaScript with some Vue.js in there. And today I'm working on a daily challenge via CodeWars, and we're going to do some CFML. As I mentioned yesterday, CFML is the newest beta language on CodeWars. Thanks to the people over at CodeWars for getting us up and running, and Brad Wood for helping us get command box integrated. So let's go see which kata we want to do today. So I'm going to my library here and searching for the newest for CFML that have been approved. And so you can see here I have a couple of different ones. So we've got a 7KU, which is a product of maximums of an array. You can do a sum of odd numbers. But let's just do another easy one today. So let's do century from year. And you can see it's tagged with fundamentals, numbers, mathematics, algorithms, basic language features, and date time. So you can see CF is one of those in there. And there's all the other languages you could do this in. Also shows you how many times this has been completed. So 29,945 times. So pretty good. And then 90% of users gave it a positive rating. So let's give it a whirl. So let's click on it and have a look. So introduction. Get rid of my head here. Ding. So introduction, basically the first century spans from year 1 up to the year 100. The second is from the year 101 to 200. So what we're going to do is basically, depending on the year passed in, we're going to give the century that it's in. Now I looked up on CFDocs already just because I wanted to see if there was a function that does this built into ColdFusion, and part of the date format didn't give us a century from year. So we can't just cheat and use that. So let's build our own. So let's train. Okay, so here's the instructions again, so we can always reference that. And when you go to output, this is where the test results will be as we run them. Here we have a component. We have a ColdFusion function, century, and then we're going to return the output here. So here's our test box base spec here, and our test box tests that we're running. And so you'll see some basic setups here. And so here they're passing in different years, and we're going to figure it out. So let's see. So what we want to do is we want to return, and we basically want it to return the century. So just to cheat, we could do left of year for 2 and see how many of this passes. Obviously this isn't always going to work, but it's a good way to cheat and see. And I see there's a test here already that should fail. But I always like to write the simplest code I can to see what I can get just something working, make sure the tests are working just the way I like to work. Okay. Ooh, so you expected 18, but it actually got 17. So in here, the 1705 should be the 18th century. So this isn't going to work like this. So now we have to think a little more. So as they mentioned before, it's basically the century. And if it's at the end of the century, the start of the next year, so 2000 or 1900, would actually be the previous. So what we need to do is figure out a way to do that. So I'm going to return, let's see, I'm going to cheat here. So I'm going to do a ternary. I like these for simple responses. So if the year mod 100 is positive, then we're going to return. So in other words, if it's not on a 100 or 200, etc., if there's no remainder, if there is a remainder, because anything other than 0 would be true here. So if it's a remainder, then we want to return the year divided by 100, and we want to cast it to an int. Okay, so that's my basic thought. And then if it isn't, I think we can just do it this way. We'll check and see if this works. Otherwise, we want to return year divided by 100 plus 1. No, minus 1. So basically, if there's a remainder, then we're not at the end of the year. So we can basically divide it by 100. So 1705 divided by 100, we get 17. We ignore the rest, and that is this entry is actually, oh, so here we have to plus 1. So it'll be 1700 plus. And then if it's on 1900, it would actually be 19, so we don't add 1. So there we go. So that's how you're supposed to do it. So let's see if this passes or not, and I'll see if my memory of what these forward slash backslashes do in this arithmetic here. Okay, so yeah, it seemed to work. So basically we're doing an if statement here. This is the if part here. So if there's a remainder, then we need to divide the year by 100 and add 1, because it's the 1705 is the 18th century. But if not, if there's no remainder, then it must be the year 1900 or 2000 or whatnot. Then we know that we need to not add the year, and we just return that. There we go. Pretty easy. Let's attempt it and see if there's any other edge case tests that might catch us out here. So again, JVM does take a little bit to spin up, but it looks like we passed. So the random test passed as well. So wish there was more detail. Sometimes in the JavaScript it will actually output a lot of the different pieces. We could probably output something in here just to be more clear what's running. So let's submit it and see what else everybody else has done. And so you can see up here, 7 out of 29,947, 7 of them are Cold Fusion people. So we only have a few options. So this one here is my solution. So Dave L, he's really good with the Java docs here. See, so he's documented it out. So he's describing the function sentry. It returns the sentry that the given year resides in, and the year integer, the year you want for the sentry. So cool. And there's also other features with Java docs or docbox. You could use returns as well here. So you could do @returns space and then do a description of what's returned. Okay, cool. So they're using the integer and then just dividing it here. So I think this is a forward slash. We'll probably have an argument about this, but I think it leans forward, so it's a forward slash. So forward slash is division, and it gives you percentages. If you do a backslash, it's basically the mod. Like, so you're just saying, okay, just give me the full integer response without the remainder. So pretty much the same here. Oh, look, Brad just did a ceiling, year over 100. Interesting. That works. Sneaky. Ken was in here too. So var entry equals arguments -1. Entry equals int. Entry divided by 100. Entry +1 or return. Oh, that handles that too. So it drops interim year. Cool. Pretty sneaky as well. So we have a couple more people here. Year +99 divided by 100. Well, that works too. Cool. Some interesting ideas here. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's our little training for the day. A little brain puzzle to get the brain working, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and go try out CodeWars. Have a good one. Bye.